Okay, another new journal. I'm just going to call this one Butterfly. I tried something slightly different with the cover of this one, and it's cardstock over fabric. This one actually turned out a little bit bigger than I intended. It's 8 3/4 by 4 3/4, and I have no idea how that happened, just a mistake when I was cutting the card, I expect. Anyway, it's the same in principle. I've also here got this slightly crooked, just a touch. Doesn't worry me, but obviously if that's something that worries you, it's not for you. These journals, I have to say, again, this is a chunky. I can't stop working on these, and I fill them up. I just love the way they feel and look. They're not really writing journals. You can write in them. You can also take a lot of the ephemera out, and then of course you can put your own in and write in them. The covers will misshape slightly because they're so chunky, and when you tie them up, the card bends a little bit, but hopefully they're well made enough to stand all of that. So this card is from 49 and Market. As I said, I've covered the inside with canvas cloth. So this one is actually quite stiff. It's quite firm, really. I just left a little fringe on the outside. I quite like the way that worked. I might do that again. So inside the front cover, I've just got my letter. This is there basically to cover up the back of the brads, but looks quite pretty with the colourway. And I've taken this paper through in odd places, you'll see. And these are just from cigarette card album, I should say. This is the Luna Rosa inspired envelope, and I've got a bit of colour at the top here. And in this pocket, that's the other side of the tag. And this is a printable from Roxy Creations. It's an Italian letter. And I've printed that on quite lightweight paper, so that handles quite nicely. This is a vintage birthday card, part of a vintage birthday card. I was going to use it in a different way. Sorry, I put in a vintage book page as well. I was going to use it in a different way, but I quite liked the way the colours looked on that page. Picks up the orange and the red here, so that's what I did with that in the end. This is an old postcard. I cut it down a little bit to suit the book, and the pieces that I cut off I've glued on here to add a bit of extra interest. On this side we've got a vintage Flower Fairy image. This is from a 1930s edition of the Flower Fairy book, and this is just a simple floral tag. Go on that one, and I tried to do this so that you could see this little chap here reaching up. This is Observe a Book with a little charm on it. This page I've edged. In here there's a tag I've made, and this is a letter from 1901. This is a genuine solicitor's letter. Dear Madam, we are of course quite willing to let you have a copy of the agreement if you will pay for the same, but we must remind you that all matters between you and Mr. Cutler were settled some time back. Who knows what the story is there? Could be anything, couldn't it? Okay, this is a book page, and I put a few dangles on this one. Little bead dangle I've made there, and a snippet tab. I've done my usual stenciling. On this page I've got another book page, quite fragile paper. This may split in the end, You can read it and then use the paper for your collaging, I guess, whatever you want to do with that. Try and keep it all together as I get in a mess. This is a postcard, no stamp, but obviously quite old. The reason I just left that out because it's actually easier to put the two in together. There we go. On this side, I've got the honeysuckle flower fairy to go with that. And on here, there's an envelope I've put together with some old music paper. It's just a little Amity Bloom tag in there. So on that one, this is my Edith Holden page with a tab. This is from the 1920s, I believe. This is original to the original document, some kind of label stuck on there. This is piano roll paper, doubled up and stitched, with a bit of collage on it. Got some floral paper there. This is an envelope from 1966 with a snippet I've put together. A bit of fussy cutting on that side. This is from an old encyclopedia. And again, I've done the back so that you can see the pretty colours. And then in this pocket, this is another envelope printout from Roxy Creations, and I've turned that into a pocket. And there's a couple of tags in there. A bit of lace or stenciling. This is a pocket, and I've put together just a really simple notebook. There's only a few pages in it. I didn't want it too fat. That is stitched together with the 5-hole pamphlet stitch with the threads at the back. It's quite a narrow pocket, so I've just popped a paper clip on there to hold it. This is some kind of mortgage document from, I think, around in the 1960s, I believe. This is masking paper. Got some dangles here, which can go out the top if you prefer. This is the flip out. I've got a fussy cut popped into this little pocket here. And this is a Tim Holtz image there. Okay, and on this side, this is an original document from something or other. And this is from an Observer book. (1962), that Building Society document. Because it's fairly or relatively recent, I have covered up the name that was on it. In this pocket, we've got the Candy Tuft Fairy. We've got a pretty postcard from 1905 and another of those book pages. And at the top here, just a little charm. It needs to go right down. There we go. Just sitting at the top there. And again, some little roses on that one. This is, now I probably wouldn't have done this deliberately. I think I was just following through with the colours, but I've got the Candy Tuft Fairy here, here on this tab and on this booklet. But in a way, I quite like the way that makes it flow. This, I say a booklet, it's just a flip up really, with a journal card in that pocket. And it's, you can just see this little quote peeping through there. And then on this side, there's another pocket with another tab in it. Not tab, journal card with a snippet tab. The words are going. There we go. That's the other side of that envelope. Another little dangle here. Pretty sort of pink page. This is the other side of that ledger. Edith Holden. I've left it so that you can read the rhyme here. And Warwickshire is the county I live in. This is a wage packet envelope from the days when we used to get our wages paid in cash. That seems a long time ago now. So there's one pocket behind and there's one in front. And this is the flap of the envelope I've just put at the top there as a little bit of ephemera. It says, please check the contents immediately on receipt. This is from the 1930s Flower Fairy book, and I've used a little bit more of that patterned scrapbook paper to pick up the colours. There's another book page and another mortgage document from 1962. And this I've just stitched a little bit of lace around there. Oops. And a tiny label at the top. Bit more of that paper. This is not stuck right down. Tab in there. Tag, I mean, sorry. I think I'm talking a bit too quietly, but sorry about that. Masking paper. There's another snippet tab. And that's the back of the book. So that one is Butterfly. Thank you for watching. Thank you also for all your lovely comments, and I'll see you soon.